もしもし。
もしもしアレックス、明日夜ご飯食べに行かない？
ごめん、明日はちょっと無理なんだ。土曜日なら行けるよ。
じゃあ土曜日の7時にいつものお寿司屋さんで。
アミは本当にお寿司飽きないね。Hello and welcome, dear listener. Because there's only one person listening to this podcast. I joke. Welcome to Learn Japanese Pod, the podcast that helps you to speak Japanese more naturally and fluently. I'm your host, Alex. And as always, I am joined by the Mecha sensei, which is Ami sensei. Hey, Ami sensei, genki?
はい、元気です。こんにちは。
こんにちは。よかったよかった。Now, remember, you can listen to this podcast by downloading our new Learn Japanese Pod app. We have an app, people! Yay! パチパチパチパチパチパチ。
パチパチパチパチ。
We've got it. It's ready. You can download it. iPhone users, Android users, it's all good. iPhone users, you can do a search on the Apple Store and do a search for Learn Japanese Pod app, which is pretty obvious, right? And Android users, you can do the same thing on the Google Play Store, and it is completely free. Yay!
Yay!
Now the app allows you to either stream or download all our Learn Japanese Pod episodes. You can also get access to the extra Japanese dialogue audio files. Plus, you can read the PDF show notes while listening to the show. And so we designed the app so you can do all of that easily just from one place. So please check it out. And if you enjoy using the app and you want to show your appreciation, please tell your friends on social media about it so we can help more people to improve their Japanese. It all helps. Now, the other thing you should know about is the Learn Japanese Pod Dojo. And you can find that at dojo.learnjapanesepod.com. That's dojo.learnjapanesepod.com. This is where you can study our online Japanese courses. We've got a hiragana course, a 5-day self-introduction course, and we just added our Instant Travel Japanese course. So the Instant Travel Japanese course is it's basically an online course which includes 30 audio lessons that teach you all the Japanese you need to know for a successful and fun trip to Japan. And it has detailed PDF show notes, and you can download and keep all the content. You can chat to the other members on the course and ask me questions directly because we have a cool comment section below every lesson. And for those of you who have already signed up, thank you so much. You are awesome. Yay. Thank you.
Yay, ありがとうございます。
When we opened it up, we got inundated. We got like 30 people sign up in the first day. So I'm scrambling like crazy to make sure that everything goes well and goes smoothly and making sure that everyone has what they need. And it's been fantastic. So people, you are wonderful. You're amazing. Thank you so much for signing up. And please give us your feedback on the course. And we want your feedback so we can keep adding new lessons and also improve the old ones. Just send an email to info@learnjapanesepod.com or just leave a comment in one of the comment sections under one of the lessons. So that's the Instant Travel Japanese course. Check it out. It's for those of you who like the format of this podcast, but you want to study seriously in a more focused way. So just visit dojo.learnjapanesepod.com. That's dojo.learnjapanesepod.com. Now, I know these are pretty crazy times we're living in, and maybe you're currently stuck inside your house going crazy. Well, now's as good a time as any to study some Japanese for your trip to Japan, which has probably been cancelled and is going to be rescheduled for 2021. Am I right, people? Anyway, now's a good time to study Japanese and improve your language skills, and that's why we're here, right, Ami Sensei?
That's right.
So, Ami Sensei, what are we learning in today's podcast?
So in today's podcast, you'll learn how to call your friend on the phone and make plans for dinner. Now, all the way back in podcast number 1, we covered a similar topic, which was asking your friends to hang out. However, this podcast is the black belt version of that. You're going to learn some really colloquial phrases for talking about a restaurant you always go to with your friends. Plus, we'll do some vocabulary and grammar drills to practice and improve your listening and speaking skills. After that, we'll go off script and talk about some of our favorite restaurants in Japan in Japanese. So you can practice your listening and hopefully get some tips for great places to eat out when you visit Japan. Finally, we'll do the random phrase of the week, which, as the name suggests, is a random phrase in Japanese you won't find in your textbook. Also, it'll be a phrase that makes your Japanese friends laugh out loud and say, なんでやねん? どこで覚えた? What? Where on earth did you learn that?
Exactly right. Because it's all about having some fun while you learn Japanese. Thank you, Ami Sensei.
Yeah.
So let's have a listen to today's main dialogue again. And after that, Ami Sensei and I will break it down. Have a listen. もしもし。
もしもし、アレックス。明日夜ご飯食べに行かない？
ごめん。明日はちょっと無理なんだ。土曜日なら行けるよ。
じゃあ土曜日の7時にいつものお寿司屋さんで。
アミは本当にお寿司飽きないね。Okay, so we start off with one of my favorite words in Japanese, just because it sounds so fun, and that is...
もしもし。
もしもし. So you actually spell it. If you turn it into a romaji, it would be M-O-S-H-I, M-O-S-H-I. But you don't really say moshi moshi.
No.
You kind of say mosh mosh, right?
もしもし。
And that is hello, used exclusively on the telephone. I think we've covered this in previous podcasts, but that's a really good word to know. Then what did you say next, Ami Sensei?
Then I said, もしもしアレックス、明日夜ご飯食べに行かない? So I said, hello Alex, もしもしアレックス。明日 tomorrow 夜ご飯 dinner 食べに eat 行かない?
行かない is actually don't go.
Right, negative.
So what does all of that mean?
Okay, so 明日 tomorrow 夜ご飯 dinner 食べに行かない? Do you want to go eat? So, do you want to go out for dinner tomorrow night?
Now, why do we use the verb ikanai, which means don't go? Doesn't make sense.
So, we can use ikanai in this context by raising the basically intonation at the end. So, it's all about the inflection, right? So, ikanai. Now, if you just said ikanai, then it means not going. But if you went ikanai, then you're asking somebody to go.
And so I think a good way to think of it is, won't you go to dinner with me?
Yes, exactly.
Another really, really good thing to remember for spoken Japanese grammar is tabe ni ikanai. So go, eat and go, or means go out and eat. But you could say nomi ni ikanai. So won't you go out for drinks? So it's a very, very useful sentence. By the way, just a bit of pronunciation. Could you tell us the pitch intonation for that sentence? How do you say ashita? Is it ashita?
明日
ashita
夜ご飯夜ご飯
yoru gohan
食べに
tabe ni
行かない
ikanai. There you go. Great. Fantastic. But then, even though you very kindly asked me out, I said,
ごめん。明日はちょっと無理なんだ。土曜日なら行けるよ。So, Alex said, ごめん。Sorry. 明日は tomorrow is ちょっと a little 無理. So 無理 translates to impossible. But when you say ちょっと無理なんだ, then it's kind of a softer, sort of gentler way of saying, I can't quite make it. I can't do it. So it's not like, no, I can't. But it's more like, might be tricky. So, sorry, I can't. I don't think I can tomorrow.
明日はちょっと無理なんだ. Now, Ami Sensei, could I change 無理 to 難しい?
Yes, you can change it to 難しい or ダメ.
ダメなんだ. Oh, okay. So I could say 明日はちょっと難しいなんだ.
You actually 難しいんだ.
Right.
So you have to change the な to い.
Right. 明日はちょっと難しいんだ.
Right.
And that means tomorrow is a little difficult.
Yes.
But actually, another really important thing to remember is 難しい in a dictionary will say difficult. But actually, the other meaning it has in context means impossible. あれはちょっと難しい.
Yeah.
So that means no way. And then the other one was ダメ.
Yes.
So 明日はちょっとダメなんだ. So yeah. Now, just that bit at the end, なんだ, this completely confused me for many years. It still kind of confuses me now. So nanda is, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is like a more casual way to say nano desu, right?
Exactly.
So basically, this is kind of hard to explain, but the easy explanation is this is what we call like Imamashi. It's just a common spoken phrase that's used after making a statement. So usually you can say like muri desu, which is a polite way of saying, it's impossible. But usually people, when they're being more polite, they'll say muri nano desu, which is it's impossible, but it's a more natural way to say it. But then because Ami Sensei and I are good friends, we want to make it more casual. So instead of saying muri nano desu, we say muri nanda. So muri nanda. So basically just try to remember it in this context. Sorry, my explanation is not great, but that's how you want to think about it. Yeah.
No, that was great.
Oh, not at all. And then finally,
then Alex said, 土曜日なら行けるよ. So 土曜日, Saturday, なら, if, I guess. If it was, 行けるよ, can go. So if it's Saturday, I can make it. 土曜日なら行けるよ.
And then that little yo on the end emphasizes it. So that word nara is really, if it were something. Yeah. So 土曜日なら or 日曜日なら, that's very good. And then ikeru yo. So ikeru is the potential form of iku, to go. So ikeru, able to go. So if it was Saturday, I could go. Yep. And then could you just teach us a little bit of intonation for that last sentence there? So, yeah.
Sure. 土曜日なら
土曜日なら
行けるよ.
Good, great. What did you say next?
Then I said, じゃあ土曜日の7時にいつものお寿司屋さんで. So, じゃあ is a good word to know. じゃあ is, well then, or then, 土曜日の, or 土曜日 Saturday, の of 7時に at 7, いつもの the usual お寿司屋さんで the sushi place. じゃあ土曜日の7時にいつものお寿司屋さんで.
And then finally, I teased you a little bit, didn't I?
Yes.
And I said,
アミは本当にお寿司飽きないね. So, Alex said, アミ本当に really お寿司 sushi 飽きないね. Don't get tired. So basically he's saying, I mean, you really never get tired of sushi, do you?
Exactly right. And that's it. Pretty cool, eh? So I hope you understood that. Have one more listen to the dialogue, see if it makes sense. もしもし。
もしもし、アレックス。明日夜ご飯食べに行かない？
ごめん。明日はちょっと無理なんだ。土曜日なら行けるよ。
じゃあ土曜日の7時にいつものお寿司屋さんで。
アミは本当にお寿司飽きないね。Now, the next thing we're going to do is going to have a little bit more of an in-depth look at the grammar used in today's dialogue, and we're going to drill some sentences so you can consolidate what you learned and hopefully improve your pronunciation and listening skills. So,
はい。
Ami Sensei, what is today's grammar point?
はい。Today's grammar point is 土曜日の7時にいつものお寿司屋さんで。
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, a lot of information, but it's okay. We'll break it down again and we'll drill this grammar point. So, again, 土曜日, Saturday, の of 7時に at 7. いつもの the usual お寿司屋さんで sushi place. Now, you can, of course, always say the specific name of the restaurant you're meeting at, but this is more fun. So, basically, you're going to do the day of the week, the time, right? And the place that you're meeting, basically.
Okay, Ami Sensei, so please teach us some drills.
Here we go. You guys ready? 金曜日の6時半にいつものラーメン屋さんで。金曜日の6時半にいつものラーメン屋さんで。
Okay, so if I understand that right, you're saying let's meet at 6:30 on Friday at our usual ramen place, right?
Correct. Ding, 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 ding.
Ding, 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 ding. Okay, hit us with another one.
Okay. 日曜日の6時にいつものイタリアンで。日曜日の6時にいつものイタリアンで。
Okay, so this time is Sunday at 6 o'clock at our usual Italian.
Yes! Ding, 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 ding.
Ding, ding, ding. Yay, cool. Great.
Okay, one more. 木曜日の8時にいつもの居酒屋で。木曜日の8時にいつもの居酒屋で。
Okay, so that's Thursday at 8 o'clock at our usual izakaya.
Yes, ding, 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 ding.
How would you say, I don't know, let's meet at 7 p.m. at our usual karaoke place?
What day?
What day? Saturday.
Okay. 土曜日の7時にいつものカラオケで。土曜日の7時にいつものカラオケで。
Cool. And you could just say Itsumono karaoke. Is that fine, yeah?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, cool. Great. Got it. There you go.
All right.
And I guess we should just very quickly, quickly drill the days of the week. So Monday is?
月曜日、
Tuesday,
火曜日、
Wednesday,
水曜日、
Thursday,
木曜日、
Friday,
金曜日、
Saturday,
土曜日、
and Sunday.
日曜日。
But Friday at 5 o'clock has a special word, and that is hanakin,
花金。
which literally means Flower Friday. It just means you're so happy it's Friday at last.
TGIF.
Exactly.
Flower Friday.
Ami Sensei, at the end of all of those sentences, you were saying,
はい。
金曜日の6時半にいつものラーメン屋さんで. Could you tell us about the de?
Yeah. It's actually kind of crucial in this context. When Japanese people make a statement, it's very common to end the sentence with de, which acts like the word so in English. So, in this case, it's like, all right, so it's this. Like, we've decided it's Sunday, 6 p.m. at the Italian restaurant. That kind of meaning. Now, just note, though, that technically speaking, we probably should add something like onegai at the end, but we just don't include it. This is way more natural and way more common. So, you can say 日曜日の6時にいつものイタリアンでお願い or イタリアンで食べよう, or イタリアンで会おう, having a verb sort of at the end. But most people will just say で. And it's perfectly natural.
It's different from the de as in noting a place where an action takes place. So, for example, sushi yasan de aimashou is a different de, right?
Yes and no, because you can say Italian de aimashou.
I didn't mean to kind of confuse the conversation here, but the de can be used as a place marker where an action happens. So you do something at a place. So, Italian de aimashou, let's meet at the Italian restaurant. But this one is slightly more subtle than that.
Right. A little different. Exactly. And similarly, when you order something at a restaurant, the waiter might actually almost always repeat your order, to confirm by saying something like, 生ビールで. If you ordered 生ビール.
Oh, yeah, I hear that all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. Which technically needs, よろしかったですか? Like, 生ビールでよろしかったですか? Was your order 生ビール? But again, it's cut out. So it's, it's pretty normal. And also another thing to note is we like to use the word Itsumono for a lot of things. It literally translates to the one of always, but it actually means the usual. So you may hear a lot of regulars at, say, izakaya counters, smaller izakayas maybe, or bars, people saying Itsumono or Itsumono onegai shimasu to order their usual drink or dishes.
That's a really good one. Yeah, I hear that all the time. Yeah, Itsumono onegai shimasu or Itsumono. Yeah.
And so I think it's pretty funny. But I think it's because, we like to have a routine and just enjoy being recognized as a regular and having our own sort of signature order, signature dish or drink.
And another word you might want to know is joren or joren-san, which just means a regular. So if you're going to Itsumono ramen yasan or Itsumono sushi yasan, you're always going to your regular sushi place or your local ramen place. You'll be referred to as a joren or joren-san, which is a regular.
Yes.
So that's a good word to know.
A couple other useful and commonly used phrases are Chottomuri, which we kind of talked about a little bit earlier. And it sort of portrays the Japanese culture of politely declining. So, like I said before, you can just say muri, which straight up means I can't. But by adding chotto in front of it, it makes it sound less straightforward. And then, of course, the other useful word is nara. Again, if it is or if it were. So let's say you are at a restaurant, sushi place maybe, and you wanted to say something like, I can't eat yellowtail, but if it's salmon, I can. Then you would say, ハマチはちょっと無理なんだ。サーモンなら食べれるよ。ハマチはちょっと無理なんだ。サーモンなら食べれるよ。So you're basically just, replacing, the words in the drill, or not the drill, sorry, the one of the lines in the dialogue, the main dialogue. So you would say the noun of something that you can't do, you can't eat. はちょっと無理なんだ。I can't do this or I can't eat this.
That's super useful. So
Yeah.
let's say I can't eat pork, but if it's chicken, I can eat it. Would be?
豚肉はちょっと無理なんだ。鶏肉なら食べれるよ。豚肉はちょっと無理なんだ。鶏肉なら食べれるよ。
Okay. As someone who's incredibly fussy, I can't eat chocolate, but I can if it's vanilla.
Like white chocolate?
Yeah,
Oh, or ice cream.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. Let's say I can't eat white chocolate, but if it's milk chocolate. No, wait. I can't eat white chocolate, but if it's black chocolate, I can eat it.
Okay. ミルクチョコはちょっと無理なんだ。ダークチョコなら食べれるよ。
So that's like a super fussy eater there. Yeah, there you go.
That's funny.
Ami sensei, fantastic
はい。
explanation. Thank you very much.
どういたしまして。
But now I think we should go off script and go into Japanese mode and just talk about いろいろ in
Okay.
Japanese. So
いいですよ。
ちょっと日本語モードにスイッチします。
はーい。
よろしくお願いします。
よろしくお願いします。
さて、何について話そうかな、アミ先生。
ご飯とか。
ご飯とかね。
ご飯の今日はレッスンなんで。
そうですね。あと、ご飯は僕たちの一番好きなテーマだよね。
そう。
じゃあ分かった。アミ先生は、
はい。
友達とご飯行くときは、どれぐらい前から予定を立てる？
私は結構、前から立てるのが好きです。だから、ギリギリよりも、例えば前の日とかよりももうちょっと前。3日4日、たまに1週間前とかから、予定立てることもある。
さすが日本人の方です。
いや、なんか心の準備じゃないけど。で、それに向けて他の予定も立てれるし、なんか、何食べたいか、それまでね、考える時間もあるし。
だからやっぱりギリギリの予約はあまり好きじゃない？
アメリカにいてると予約は実はあんまりしないけど、日本にいてる時とか、日本遊びに帰った時は絶対予約する。
なるほどね。だからこれはやっぱり文化の違い。
そう、文化の違いだし、あと日本はどこも混んでるし、せっかく美味しいとこ行くならね、予約して確実に行けるようにしてます。
やっぱり日本人というのは、なんかずっと前から準備しておく傾向が多いよね。
ちゃんとしてる。
じゃあ、なるほどね。じゃあ、最近、いつ外食した？
最近は、3週間、1ヶ月前かな。3週間前とか。
あまり外食しない？
最近は今大変な、時期だし。
そうね。
でも最後に行ったのはその時かな。美味しい、なんていうの、ローカルのピザ屋さん。窯で焼くピザ屋さん。
美味しそう。
最近ハマってってそこに。
いいね。で、答えたかもしれないけど、行きつけのお店はある？なんか日本、そしてアメリカで。
そこはハマってるけど、行きつけは、こっちだったら行きつけの日本食、屋さんがあって、やっぱりお寿司食べたくなったら絶対そこに行くし、お寿司だけじゃなくて、
それはアメリカで？
そう、アメリカで。
どうちゃんと、なんていう、 本格的な寿司。
そこはね、本格的だから、行くけど、必ずしも全部の日本食屋さんが、ね、本格的とか美味しいってわけでもないから、でもそこは、全然、行きつけというか全然本格的で美味しいからよく行ってます。
なるほどね。
日本だったら、日本あんまり帰れないっていうのもあって、行きつけは、行きつけっていうとこはないけど。
じゃあ、おすすめの居酒屋とかレストランある？
おすすめは、でも大体ね、なんかこう、チェーンの居酒屋とか。
例えば？
になっちゃうかな。例えば、この間人生で初めて行ったのが、鳥貴族。
鳥貴族ね。そう。
知ってますか？
かなり安いよね。
安い、焼き鳥屋さん。
そう。すごい、鳥貴族はすごく人気。意味はすごく人気。
ね。そう。あとはでもなんか、大阪にある、シンガポール料理屋さんとか、名前忘れちゃったけど、そこはすごい美味しかった。
鶏肉とご飯でしょ？
そう、チキンライス。
美味しい。やっぱりたこ焼きも食べるよね。
絶対。それはね、もう絶対行きます。
絶対行くよね。じゃあ、お酒は好き？どんなお酒？お酒
は好き。毎日は飲まないけど、でも、すごい好き。例えば、赤ワインが好きで、飲むけど、日本にいてるときっていうか帰るときは、例えば居酒屋とかご飯が美味しいから、ビール、やっぱ和食といったらビールだから、
ビールね、
日本で外食するときはビール。
なるほどね。あと、お酒はごめん、日本酒とか、焼酎は飲まない？
日本酒とか、なんか強いのはちょっと、飲めない。
なるほどね。
アレックスは？
日本酒の方が好き。やっぱり和食食べるときに、ちょっと日本酒、時々飲む、熱燗で。
特に寒いときは。
そうで、やっぱり日本人じゃないから、やっぱり甘い方、よく。日本人の方は、なんか割と、軽口で飲む人が多いと思う。
確かに。
そう。ちょっと子供のお好みね、僕。
いや、そんなことない。
甘い方がいいの。
いや、でも、そんなに甘いかな。
そんなに甘い。そんなに甘くないね。
けど、日本人からしたら、ちょっと違うのかな。
そうね。わかりました。アミ先生の好きなお料理、好きな外食、ちょっとわかるようになってきた。ありがとうございました。
いいえ。
And now, it's that part of the podcast you've all been waiting for, and that is the random phrase of the week. Yay! So the random phrase of the week, why do we do this? Because studying Japanese is hard. I won't lie, studying Japanese is challenging. People get kind of serious. They've got their flashcards, they've got their word lists and their grammar books, but every now and then you've got to have some fun. And in random phrase of the week, we teach you a fun, crazy phrase that will pleasantly surprise and possibly even shock your Japanese friends. Don't worry, we won't teach you anything too rude. But what is this week's random phrase, Ami Sensei?
Hi, it is 行き当たりばったり。行き当たりばったり。
行き当たりばったり。
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 It sounds a little fun, right? Like a little silly. 行き当たりばったり。
だだだだだだだだ。行き当たりばったり。Yeah.
Like fox in the box or I don't know, cat in the hat or something.
Yeah.
Basically, it means unplanned and, deciding things as you go or, like play it by ear. And it's most of the time negative. It's got a negative connotation, but it could also mean like happy-go-lucky,
Yeah, because like as we were talking before, in Japanese society, Japanese people tend to plan things in advance. They don't like to leave things to chance. But yeah, no, it kind of makes sense that it would mostly be negative.
Right.
But I also like that meaning happy-go-lucky, right?
Yeah.
So can you give us some example sentences?
Sure. So let's see. 行き当たりばったりで何でも決めちゃう。行き当たりばったりで何でも決めちゃう。So I always decide things like, on the spot or last minute.
So it means that you're being slightly impulsive, maybe?
Yeah.
Right. Would you say that when you go shopping, Ami Sensei?
I used to.
Oh.
Back in college days or, but I try not to do that anymore.
Now you're more responsible, right?
I'm more of an adult now.
I'm glad at least one of us is.
Hey, I said I'm more of an adult now, but that doesn't mean I am completely. Yeah.
Both of us are trying hard, people. We're trying hard.
We are trying hard.
One day we'll be adult. Yeah.
Okay. Another example. 行き当たりばったりな旅だった。行き当たりばったりな旅だった。So tabi is trip. So, if the trip is 行き当たりばったり, then, it's, again, things that you did maybe were very spontaneous on the trip.
So, Ami Sensei, have you ever done an 行き当たりばったりな旅?
So usually I plan everything out when I go on a trip.
Sure.
But sometimes it's like, where you're going, like the general location, the general town, but you don't really know, like you could decide a few places that you want to go, but then when you go, there's always places that you didn't know of, right? So sometimes, I like to discover those places or like, ask the locals of where to go. And then, and then it's ikiatari battari.
I'm thinking in terms of vacations that Japanese people tend to want to plan everything in advance, partly because they don't get that many vacation days a year.
Yeah, that's true.
And so I think they're probably a little scared of like wasting time.
The time, yeah.
Whereas maybe in the West, we have kind of longer holidays. So we're a bit more happy-go-lucky. We're a bit more flying by the seat of our pants.
Yeah, I would only do it if I have, if I know I've got a lot of time.
Right.
Like during this particular day.
But I guess it depends on the person's, personality
True.
too. Like people like to like really plan in advance, and then you have a complete disaster like me. Let's just turn up and see what happens, driving my friends absolutely insane. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you're like clueless.
Yeah, right.
I've got one more example.
Oh yeah.
行き当たりばったりにレストランを選んだ。行き当たりばったりにレストランを選んだ。
Oh,
so
I think I know what that means. You just kind of randomly chose a restaurant, right?
Yeah. Like, let's just try this one.
That's a really good phrase. Ikiatari battari. So just without forethought, without planning, just, I don't know, let's just do this.
Exactly.
One thing I would say is, generally speaking, when you go out with Japanese friends, you should book in advance. I think they really do appreciate that. However, every now and then, when you go to an area where there are a lot of izakayas, a lot of bars, a lot of restaurants, you can be a little bit more ikiatari battari in your choice, because if you go to somewhere like, I don't know, like kind of Shinjuku or maybe if you're hanging out in Shibuya and you're looking for a bar, you can kind of wing it and like, oh, why don't we just go looking for a bar and just find where's open?
Yeah.
So you can do that. But generally speaking, Japanese people prefer to book everything in advance. So be warned. The things I did so you don't have to, people. And that's almost it for this week. But before we go, let me leave you with a little thought. Now, sometimes I hear people say things like, my Japanese isn't improving, and oh, kanji is so hard, and I don't know what to study next. And I get it. You're not going to learn to speak perfect Japanese in a week. Learning Japanese is challenging. I won't lie.
Yeah.
But to those of you feeling frustrated or lacking motivation, why not ask yourself this question? And that question is, very simply, what fun, easy thing can I do in Japanese today? Just one thing, and it's got to be fun, and it's got to be easy. I don't know, maybe it's watching your favorite anime, or listening to your favorite Japanese band, or trying out our random phrase of the week on your Japanese friends. It's good to study, it's good to learn grammar, it's good to revise vocabulary and get all serious, but ask yourself, are you having fun? Because if you're not having fun, what's the point?
Yeah.
In Japanese, you could say, Suki koso mono no jouzu nare. So that means you get good at the things you like.
Yeah.
Actually, Ami sensei, how do you say that?
好きこそものの上手なれ。
好きこそものの上手なれ.
That's so true.
Yeah, right? So ask yourself, are you having fun? And what fun, easy thing can you do in Japanese today? And I think that kind of sometimes goes to the root of the problem of when you're feeling frustrated or kind of anxious about your progress in Japanese. Are you having fun? I know it sounds a bit silly and a bit simplistic, but think about that. And I hope it helps you with your Japanese. That's it, people. Nihongo ganbatte kudasai. So take care, stay safe, stay happy, practice your Japanese, and te o aratte kudasai. Wash your hands. And see you next time. Mata ne.
Mata ne.